Good evening, fellow tipplers. It's Tam here again, and welcome to Spirits and Wine Club India, where we review the great and the good which is coming out of India in terms of wines and spirits. Today, I will be having the pleasure of reviewing the Myra Vineyards Chenin Blanc. It's a 2012 vintage. Price point on this is 620 rupees, and looking forward to reviewing this particular wine. This was actually, it's a fairly recent wine. It was set up in December 2011. So I think if the company was set up then, this 2012, I don't know how late they left it before they actually bottled this particular wine. But we'll see anyway what it's about. So a fairly good price point, and just let this settle in for a moment. It's actually, for a Chenin Blanc, it is kind of light. Compared to some of the other Chenin Blancs I've tried, for example, Fratelli and the Four Seasons, this is certainly lighter than those, certainly in terms of colour. And also, I'd just like to say that in terms of why use a Chenin Blanc, because generally they're very good as a young wine. You don't require significant aging. So that, for me, maybe one reason perhaps I wanted to give it a try with this, bearing in mind it's 2015 now, so you don't have a very long time to ramp up production and then release it to the general public. So the Chenin Blanc is it's a kind of all-purpose wine. It's kind of robust. You have some drinkable dry whites. You also have some very nice, sweet, pleasant Chenin Blancs as well. So that may be perhaps one reason why the company opted for this particular wine. But left it a bit too late to take out, so it is still slightly on the cooler side, and generally I prefer it to be slightly warmer. But let's give it a try anyway. So the color is very light compared to the other varieties I've tried. In terms of the aroma, again, it's very light. There is a certain hint, there is a certain tartness in it, but I'm not picking up very many pinpointers on this. I'm not picking up any kind of ripe fruits or even tropical or exotic fruits, which I certainly picked up in certain of the other varieties. This is just a very clean kind of crisp aroma. It's certainly very tart. I'm not getting any tropical sweetness. I'm not getting the rich, fruity qualities that I'd expect from this, especially that it's coming from India as well. When some of the Chenin Blancs we've had, say from the Nasik region, have produced that. This is, I think, more like you'd expect from a European kind of Chenin Blanc. It's certainly drier. And it's not very sweet. So the company was set up or started producing in December 2011. So I think that may be a factor which affects the taste and experience of the wine. As I said before, certain of the other wines like Fratelli or the Four Seasons, they do have certain pinpointers that you could mark and say, oh yes, I'm getting this sweetness, I'm getting this fruitiness, or I'm getting a dryness or a tartness. But they had some flavor and character. This one, I hate to say, it has a more generic kind of Chenin Blanc quality, which is surprising really, because it comes from the same region, the Nasik region. which is a large wine producing region for India. I suspect that the wine is actually procured from the local wine growers in that area, and that is why it probably has that generic kind of quality. So part of it comes from the Nasik region, another part actually comes from the Bijapur region. It is a very light, slightly tart, and kind of watery as well. It doesn't have many of the flavors that I'm actually looking for. On a positive, the price point is very good. 620 rupees, you can't go wrong. So what would I pair this with? Again, this seems a ubiquitous comment that, oh yes, you have it with salads. I don't know how many people would have salads with wines, but that is one recommendation as suggested by the company itself. And also fish foods. Again, they're sufficiently light and delicate to actually combine nicely with this wine. I certainly wouldn't have any rich or spicy foods or combine it with anything heavier than that, because it would certainly be overpowered by those flavors and characteristics. So to sum up, I'd say this is pretty much, if there is such a thing, a generic Chenin Blanc. Some can be exceptional, some can be pretty ordinary. This, unfortunately, I think is bordering on the ordinary. Marks out of 10, I'd give it about 4.5, and leave it at that. Hope you like the review. Do give the wine a try. You might like this. If you want something light, something not very challenging, something not providing very many pointers and expressions to actually raise your thought process and when you're actually drinking it, but a good daytime tipple nonetheless. So hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any comments, positive criticism, please do get in touch with us. We're on YouTube. Please do subscribe to the channel, and if you have any suggestions about things we should be reviewing, then please do get in touch. I think we should also be available on Facebook and Twitter, and we'd like to hear from you. Thank you very much for your time.